I've caught so many Pidgeys that it's bananas. I've caught like 1,200 Pokemon, each worse than the last.
I want to
Did you
finish
see
Paramotor talk.
GameStop put up that Facebook video today? It's like it's like a meme, like a 1-minute video meme about hatching Pokemon, and it starts off like loading, putting a egg into an incubator, and then it's like Forrest Gump on the porch as he starts to get running. And then he takes off running, and it's like he just keeps running or whatever, and it shows like the meter going up on the incubator. That's great. And then the fucking thing hatches, and it's a Pidgey.
So, dude, you got your like skydiving license for a video, and you just like sort of hustled and you got it all. I was under the impression that you like had it, and that's why you were appropriate for that video. You were just like, no, I'll learn to do it, and then we'll make it happen. And it took a month.
For sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now the wingsuit thing.
But have you had that? Have you had that moment yet, though? Like that's what I was getting at. Have you had that moment where you've been able to kind of sit back and appreciate the? I hate
the grandeur of it all.
This stuff, but
it's okay.
The beauty of like the moment.
So
I feel like a hippie.
I mean, totally. Like, like
go
you're
ahead,
up there
Taylor.
with
You
God.
answer the question.
Like, but anyway, with Pokemon Go,
it's not natural, right? It's nothing that you experience. It's nothing you experience up until that point. So it's really unique.
I hung up on him because he's fucking with me. I'm so tired of it every show.
I just dropped.
Yeah.
Did I drop?
Bummer about that.
Shithead hung up on you.
Oh, did you hang
That
up?
was the most popular thing in the world.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on. God fucking forbid we talk about literally the biggest thing on the planet. Let's talk about something that 60 people in the southeastern United States are doing right now.
I hear where you're coming from.
There's thousands.
Thousands. Wow, thousands. Well, this is... how many of our audience are paramotoring? One.
Go ahead,
including
Taylor.
the hosts. No, I'm just,
it was like Richard's doing this thing. It's tremendously interesting. We were going to talk about it. It's sort of something we have in common with the guest. And like he asked me a question, and you literally answer it instead and take it to Pokemon Go. And I don't even know what's right here because you're right. It is totally popular. You know, it's bigger than Twitter, right? So like I haven't cut off any Pokemon talk thus far, but. You know, I also don't even get a chance to jump in.
This is 3 hours long, right? So we got time to cover it all.
Yeah. 4 hours.
4 hours, yeah. So there is time for everything, but go ahead. I feel like I'm being a baby. Go, you talk about Pokemon. But, yeah, I don't know. Richard was, even before the show, he was like looking forward to talking to us about it.
Tell me, have you had that moment? Have you had that moment yet where you've been able to appreciate, like, just being up there?
You know,
put yourself in the looting mindset. It's all going haywire, and you're out there in the mix of it. And I know what I would do. I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to be the only one not looting. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to loot too. Where are you going to loot?
Pornography. That's everyone's going to run out of all their other items, but what are you going to do? Draw your own pornography? You got to come to old Dickie Boy. I got all the magazines in town.
You got the stickiest magazines in town.
Gobbled them all up.
Can I tell a pornography story?
No, it's inappropriate.
Oh, my mistake.
You're listening to Uncle Jazz.
This is the burn on the back of my neck from the tongs that my former boss gave me when I wouldn't make the fries fast enough. I stayed in the shack out behind the restaurant for 7 years. I got no money. I invented a popular T-shirt after I left. And how I'm a threat to my people surrounding me.
Yeah, my daughter...
Because I make pipe rifles, yeah.
She, like a lot of girls her age, is a little liberal at the moment, more so than me. And she was just... it was like, yeah, I'm featured on NPR. And she's like, really? That's so exciting. Tell me more. Yeah, it was a thing about ghost guns and this thing I made in the backyard. It was just like... I don't know. Like, I can imagine telling a conservative, like, I gave step-by-step instructions for aborting children. And like, oh, God, this is not what she was hoping for.
You need to scare a little conservatism in her. Here's what you do. You show up at the parking garage of her school, ski mask, angry voice, and you mug her. You take her purse, you steal
This
all
sounds
of her
like a good plan thus far.
Carry
on.
Her. And then she's going to come back all like teary-eyed and like traumatized a little, of course, and you're like, if you'd had a weapon, you not only would you have solved this problem, but you'd have felt secure.
Don't you worry. We're going to get a Law and Order president in here to take care of this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you do an angry black man voice? Because that's important. Because you want to instill a little racism in her at the same time. That's key
one
to
accent I
conservatism.
don't know how to do.
Hey, you
I don't know how to
jive
do
turkey!
Angry black.
No?
No, keep going.
I'm from Shanghai. I've been hanging out in Shanghai.
I was going from
joke's not funny anymore.
Mine was from Airplane. You know, hey, you jive turkey, you ain't got no sense here in dark alleys.
I just thought the joke bombed. I'm really glad it was a technical.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna hang up and call right back immediately, just because sometimes that makes Discord work better.
Okay.
Kyle nodding sage. Are we okay?
Except I don't have. There we are. We'll see how it goes. We're all back.
On your screen.
Fine.
Like
and
tannerite.
then there's epoxy or tannerite, and there's active zinc in there, and so then the zinc, you can see his nasty tooth. So the zinc, when you pour it, attaches to bacterial protein receptors.
On your screen.
All right, Taylor. You were wrong about Tinder. You were wrong about salt. You were wrong about sexual performance enhancing drugs.
Taylor,
and now,
you idiot.
You're wrong about choking bitches unconscious. Get on this.
I was on your team saying if that's what she wants, it's fine. It's just
she
it's
just
not
doesn't know it yet.
Kyle thinks that you are not deep enough on the team, and I think he might be onto something.
You know what? Even if when my girl gets over tonight, I don't care if she wants it or not. I'm gonna give choking a go, and I'll report back either from here next week or in a cell.
Trust me, if she doesn't like it, she'll probably not understand what happened and just be confused.
There you go.
Watch my neck hurt.
You can deny it. You can be like, "What? No, I didn't choke a bitch."
What's Kyle doing here?
You fell on my hands, and I went, ah!
Yeah. My neck kind of hurts too. It's going
Kyle's
around.
here. I needed a spotter. I didn't know how long to hold until I let you go. But he was really serious about 5 solid minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I would have a little. I mean, I haven't done it at all, much less as many times as you, Kyle. But I can already tell I would have a real feeling of panic when I was in the middle of sex and I choke someone out and I'm like, oh no! Yeah. There's no way my dick's staying hard. I'm gonna, maybe it'll get even harder.
It gets even like a diamond when you see her go limp. And you're not sure if she's ever coming back again. I'm telling
Taylor,
you.
it's like a diamond, small, reflective, and a lot of people died to achieve it.
And really overrated. Yeah.
Like the hardest thing on earth. Like a blood diamond. Yes.
Yeah.
A blood diamond. My father's massive cache of pornography, right? And they threw it away. He had Playboy magazines that I'll describe as 30 inches tall, right? That's how many Playboys he had. And, all right, fine. I get them. I pick off half a dozen that are now mine, right? The rest we let them get thrown away, and now they're mine. And I think my friend or so, I had some older friends who were 14 or something, and I'm maybe 10. And he eventually asked me, what do you do with the pornography, right? I'm a long way from coming at this point. I'm 10, so I'm a good 6 years away. So he describes to me what he does with pornography, and it fucks up my head for an awful long time before I realize he's not really doing it right either, because he would roll up the magazine into a cylinder and use that and put his dick in it and jerk off. He's not even seeing the magazine at this point. He's just turning it into some sort of vagina that doesn't work very well.
I want this guy on the show. I thought
this guy is a serial killer now.
This guy is still to this day like he can't look at a Cosmo without getting hard. He's like, I just want to roll you up and yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that's good binding. Oh,
I don't know. I'm 15 or so, and it's but doesn't he get paper cuts? It seems like he's doing this wrong. And
you want only glossy for me, Mr. Woody. Only glossy for me.
Did you call him and tell him that he was doing it wrong when you figured it out finally?
No, I moved from one part of New Jersey to another. We weren't friends anymore.
Once he figured out the right way.
I wonder if I can find him on Facebook. I do know his name.
I was going through some of my dad's Playboys with my friends at about the same age, and one of my friends turned to us and said, "Yeah, you know, but that's not how nipples work. That's not how nipples look." Like, he was the only one who had gotten any action of us at that age. Yep. And he said, "Yeah, but that's not how they look." And we found out like 10 years later that his girlfriend at the time had inverted nipples. So he thought that all of these, where he thought they were all Photoshop or were, I guess, airbrushed at the time to look like that. But it stumped us for years. Like, why did he say that?
Man, she pulled off quite a hoax.
What animal would you like to beat to death, Taylor? Like, just you think about it and you're like, yeah, that'd be fun. Just me and that goat alone in a room together, and I've got like a aluminum baseball bat meant for a 10-year-old.
I have a specific one. I've talked about the monkeys at my birthday party when I was very young, Kimmy and Kirby. I bear no ill will towards Kirby. He was nothing if not a gentleman the entire time there. Kimmy, though, so that was like, what, 25 years ago?
Yep.
So that would mean chimps can live that long. So if she's still around, she is old as shit, but I bet she remembers what she did. And so I'd like to cave Kimmy's skull in with an aluminum baseball bat.
Can you refresh our memory on what Kimmy did?
What happened here?
So when I was very young, my parents, I was obsessed with monkeys. I was obsessed with monkeys and dinosaurs. I loved them. And for my birthday, my parents rented 2 monkeys, 2 little chimpanzees, to come to my birthday, and they had their handler and shit. And so all my friends are there, everything's there. We open all the presents and everything, and I got a little Kawasaki. You know, the little tiny electric things, like four-wheeler, ATV-looking thing that you sit on as a very young child, and it was my favorite thing forever. And Kirby, the male, was super cool. He'd come over, and I'd like touch him, and he'd like grab my hand and like play with toys with me. Like I'd like throw a ball, and he was like, it was cool. As a kid, you're like, oh my god, like a little dexterous, kind of like me, but dumber, and it doesn't have any rights. And then I was riding my Kawasaki around.
Where have you seen that before?
I couldn't think of an appropriate joke.
I was riding my Kawasaki around, and over, Kimmy would come over with her little like monkey gait and push me off of it, and then get on it herself and drive it, which it was impressive. She knew where to put her thumb to actually get it to go, but it really pissed me off because even at that age, I was like, "Don't you know I'm a human? You don't get to do that to me. You're an animal.
Superior genetically."
Yeah, I'm starting to absorb this stuff I learned at Sunday school, and you're not as good as me. And so I really got pissed at Kimmy for a while after that. She kept shoving me off my goddamn Kawasaki. She stole food out of my hand. I had a piece of my own cake. She comes over, grabs it, and steals it.
Taylor got bullied by a chimpanzee.
I did.
Huh.
Yeah.
You said earlier, Steve, undefeated.
And they weren't funny, you know, and that dual threat really just tanks your
Rebecca Corey is funny.
I don't know who the individuals are. I'm kidding.
You could have made that name up. I have no idea.
I like Sarah Silverman's take on it. That's
You're telling me Stacy the Hammer Stevenson isn't funny?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Kyle.
Sarah Silverman.
And it'll scare your prisoner when like the loud clang of the deadlift hits the top of their chamber.
I really like this secret door. I should do a bookshelf or maybe like a fake arcade game that you can crawl through and you got to give a little noise to get in.
I know someone.
It would never work if I had one of those bookshelves that was a secret escape hatch, because I fucking guarantee the first thing that happened when I had people over is like, yeah, there's a kitchen, there's a living room. Come look at my secret door through the bookshelves, and everyone would be like, all right, well, we know where Taylor is. Like, if shit goes down, like it wouldn't be worthwhile.
I know someone who has a secret hatch. All right, so you go in this person's house, and there is like, it looks like a broom closet, like a cupboard. It's a regular sized door, but it's a very shallow closet, like we've probably all seen in a house somewhere. You know, it looks like it's good enough for a few cleaning supplies on racks and a broom or two. No, the back of that door, the back of that little closet comes away, and it leads downstairs into a gun room.
That's so cool.
It looks like in one of those 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger movies when it's time for him to gear up to go take out the Colombian dictator. Like it looks like that. All right, you go down there and it's a fucking it's let's just say 150 rifles, 50 handguns. The body armor is hung onto mannequins. There's 3 sets of body armor for each individual that's in the home that's a fighting age male, as the military calls them.
Why would you need 3 sets?
One for each fighting age male.
Oh, I misunderstood. I got the impression there were 9 total.
And the body armor isn't just like like body armor. It's the plate armor, right? That I've shown off in videos before, and a bunch of people have or whatever. But it's got all the magazine carriers on it, and each one is set up for a different firearm rig, right? Like one of them has like MP5 and like Glock magazines all over it, right? Right next to it is the MP5. The other one is set up for like an AR-15. So it's got AR-15 magazines stuffed all over it. The AR-15 is right there next to it. They're all 3 like that, ready to rock and fucking roll.
Dude, if I had that, I'd have like a billboard outside my house that said, "I'm out of town." Like just something to try and get it moving.
Oh, the security system at that house is absurd. We were off site at one day. We were several miles away, and his phone did a thing like that sounded like an Amber Alert or something. He's like, "Uh-oh, someone's breached the perimeter." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Get back to the house, boys." And like 2 guys hop in a truck and haul ass to his house because he's got a lot of valuable things aside from the guns that aren't in a dungeon or whatever. And he's like, I'm like, what are they gonna do if they catch somebody there? He's like, it won't go well for them. And we just sit there for like 15 minutes and waiting to hear back if like a bunch of intruders just got mowed down back at the compound or whatever. It was turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, there's one less raccoon in this world.
Yeah, right. It was something like that. But yeah, wouldn't want to try to invade that guy's little fiefdom over there. It's pretty legit.
I might be alone in this, but as you were describing just how ready he is for the next Chinese, Russian, Cambodian invasion or whatever,
home intruder,
it started to feel a little like
U.S.
cosplay,
invasion.
right?
No. Well, see, he's a famous guy who has a lot of money and gets threats, right? Like this is someone who is preparing for a known threat. You know, it's not like Joe Schmo down the street has an arsenal in his basement with a rocket launcher. It's more like a guy who routinely gets threats from scary people who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to come to your house and do X, Y, and Z." Is like, all right, well, I'll prepare for that possible eventuality. I guess I have the money, and it's kind of, you know.
You won me over. I pictured.
You know, it would be cheaper and as effective. But cheaper and as effective of a home defense technique, I think, would just be going to like a Nordstrom rack and buying a bunch of those creepy ass old mannequins that they don't use anymore, and then like do disturbing like eye scratches on them, and then like all the pictures in your house near the entryway, of course, have like your own family. You switch these out every night. It's a time-consuming process, and it's got like your own family, like with the eyes X'd out. There's like dolls with no heads sitting in corners, and so if somebody bursts in and they see 10, oddly placed mannequins around and pictures with eyes scratched out, and like something else random, I don't know, a bolo tie sitting around, like they're not going to want to come in. They're going to leave. I wouldn't rob that place.
Home Alone defense system, like the Michael Jordan.
This is the Home Alone defense system, but it's 100% a bluff.
You'll return after these messages.
And then I'm going to watch the highlight video. I'm going to watch the best of.
Ties a rubber band around his penis stump and is trying to let it die, I guess. The questions for him were, why did you shoot your cock? How did you react immediately after? And what the fuck? I shot it off for God. God wasn't having it. God said, I don't like that dick. Shoot it off. So he did, I guess. Immediately after, I cooked it a little and ate it. Then I laid on the ground and listened to music before calling an ambulance. God is crucifying me. I was supposed to chop off my balls too and die. I chopped off my nuts 2 months ago. Now I have to chop off the rest of the stump and bleed out. The bullets tore through it. It's a fleshy cock. It doesn't stand a chance against a .38 special revolver. No seasoning. No seasoning, just olive oil. I need to remove it to bleed to death in order to complete a blood sacrifice to God. Right now, shooting it again is my best bet. Well, at least he's going to heaven.
Man, like you read stuff like this and you realize that we're so ignorant as to just how crazy some of the people around us are, because this is 5 levels above the crazy we normally deal with. Like the people that you'd be like, oh yeah, he's crazy. Yeah. Look at him. Look at him over there. He's crazy. Look, he shaved that silly thing into his hair, and look, he's got this piercing and that piercing. He split his tongue. Can you believe he split his tongue?
This guy's insane. He wears one of those bikinis for guys, right? Like, who wears a Speedo?
He smokes meth casually. It's absurd. He's insane. Really? Did he shoot his penis off to blood sacrifice himself to the Lord? Nah. Did he eat the severed cock and then plan to do more amputations because, God? No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is grotesque.
The issue is that even though we're all adults, people oftentimes treat a restaurant or public bathroom of any sort like it's some sort of a shit trough. They do disgusting things in there, and they abuse the bathroom because they know that no one's in there to keep them straight. However, if you interject a professional, and I use that term very loosely, into this scenario, then all of a sudden...
I didn't go to 7 years of bathroom attendant school to not be called a professional.
Well, I got my residency at Red Robin. I stayed there for 3 years.
It was rough going.
Could you say it again?
He fell her in the white...